Hey, everybody, we are back with a double dose of broken ranks this week. Two in the chamber.
It's very Halloween coded doing a double feature.
I know.
Super Halloween
We,
coded.
as always, we have Richard Collis, and we must have Connor back because my pants are a little tight.
There we go. I've returned. I had some interesting ventures, so I apologize for not being around.
No worries.
No worries. We had a very fantastic yapping session with Trevor about Night Haunt, and I feel like we're starting to get caught up a little bit now. So that is fantastic.
I got to try to fight Morghouls, which is something I haven't been able to talk about since like middle of third
Yeah,
edition.
It was
I know.
interesting talk. I loved it though, so it was good. Glad to
Uh,
confront that.
oh yeah. Well, boys, what are you working on right now? What's on your hobby desks?
Listen, you can see what's on my hobby desk. None of it's changed.
His,
Hasn't
his
moved.
desk has been visible since day one, and yeah, I don't think anything shifted.
No. I think I took out. I moved one box. It was specifically this box. The Marshall
Fancy
Ash.
freak.
Yeah, the Marshall
Sure.
Ashfeld and Squire Udo. I pulled it out to show it for a video. One of our podcasts here, and that was the only thing that's moved from my desk. However, I did add something to this desk, which is the Black Talons, but I showed that off already too, so it doesn't really count.
I got Chorfs on the docket, man. I have
baby.
Primestone, got the Dominator. I'm starting to get some paint onto it. I'm going to try to get the little Hobgoblin prepped so I know how my goblins are going to look. And hopefully next week we're actually going to start working on tried and true Chorf bodies. So by November, I'm hoping everything going on in life, I can get them, at least the box set painted. So once we have every piece coming, I'm like, cool, I can just dive right into all of that.
Hell yeah.
Don't have to stress about it.
I suspect we'll probably get an announcement about that this week.
Probably soon, for sure. We've pretty much lost all of our October pre-order windows, so now we're looking at a November launch, which is fine. I think that's where a lot of people were saying this was going to be, was about November, like mid-November to maybe really early December.
Just in time for the holidays.
Yeah, perfect.
I heard some anecdotal rumors that Chorfs aren't going to be out till December, and I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not, but I'm also not going to complain, but I do want more because we'll get into it as to why I think we need something coming relatively soon.
Sure, absolutely. On my desk is another shark and a tidecaster because I have to remember that this army you see behind me isn't mine. So
True.
He's gotta start building his own slowly.
Yeah, slowly but surely, just in time for Aether Sea. I'll be done painting when Aether Sea Predators is gone and the army is not good anymore, and then I just go back to ogres when the new ogre book comes out. I'll be like, God damn it.
And then I'll swoop in and buy all your Ideneth stuff from you for cheap because you're not playing anymore, and I just slowly grow my collection the fast way.
It's the ebb and flow, baby. It's the ebb and flow of the ocean.
So,
but
that's something I do want to talk about when we get to the talking about because we're gonna have a small segment about Ideneth and
this is an Ideneth podcast now.
It's not an Ideneth podcast. Yeah, I'm the only one who's out here being real excited about Ideneth, except for Carlos, who went 5-0 with it this weekend.
Yeah, we'll hear a bit of that. This is mostly this is a catch up, kind of just fun little recording for us.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, first on the docket here, we have some amazing works in progress. On the left here, we have Harbinger of Decay, or is it Doom or Decay?
Nope, Decay.
Decay, yeah, Harbinger Decay. Victor painted this in like a day, man, and I don't know how he does it, but we need a masterclass. Like,
We talked
his
about
whole
this on the last
yeah,
podcast, even because we were looking at his mop pit, and then I was
mop
like,
it. Yeah,
and then he painted Justin's Harbinger of Decay, and it was gorgeous. And as
in
you
one
can
day,
see,
as you can
It's
see.
good time.
you see right there.
He clearly has all day to do these things. So
Yeah, and then we have from one of our younger members, Matt. He is working on his new Stormcast Eternals army, and super happy to see it. He's been playing Cruel Boys for a while now at Dice Dojo events, so really cool to see him do Stormcast. Stormcast is in a pretty good spot with the point drops.
Yeah,
We'll
and
say
this
that.
I think they got more fun stuff to do, and that's
Yep.
because Lord knows looking at Vanguard Paladors gets so exciting for so long.
This is
Yeah.
a Skaven Tide half. Is it not?
I think so.
Yeah, except that big guy in the back, he's a standalone model.
Okay.
And I think that wing is Iridian. So it looks like it looks like he supplemented the Skaven Tide half box with a couple
With a
big
couple other
centerpiece
things.
models.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
Are you sure
Good
that's
which is
are you sure that's Iridian and not the no? Because the Griff Charger doesn't have the Griff Stalker doesn't have wings. That's right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're wingless, as it were.
Do you have the Griff Stalker that he painted on here?
No, I do not.
Damn. We'll have that one for the next episode. Because I really love how he did his Lord is it Lord
The
Veritan?
Lord Vigilant.
Lord Vigilant on Griff Stalker?
Lord Vigilant on Griff Stalker.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
gorgeous. So we'll have
Yeah.
that on for the next episode.
Absolutely. I will make sure to put that on the slideshow.
Thanks.
But yeah, guys, keep posting stuff in our Discord. We'd love to keep showcasing your art, and get inspired.
Oddly
show
enough,
the world our group's beautiful stuff.
Oddly enough, I just acquired some portion of a Skaven Tide box.
Oh Lord, Skaven or Stormcast side.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I think he got a whole box.
I did not
I
get
have
the
a
whole
Skaven.
box.
I have a Skaven Tide box sitting around if you need more.
So the only things that I don't think I'm getting out of it, if I understood the situation correctly, I'm splitting it with Brian, and he wants the prosecutors and the liberators, and that's all he really wanted out of the box.
So you're getting everything else.
That's my assumption. If it turns out that he wants more of the Stormcast models than that, that's okay. I wanted the cool Storm, like the new Stormcast models that came in that box, but like I'm also only paying like $50 for everything. So like if he's like, I want more of the Stormcast, that's fine. If I end up with a full Skaven Tide box of just the Skaven side for $50, I'm still winning. So it's not really that, like, you know.
You got Skaven, man. Look.
Let me know if he gives you the terrain in there too, because I'll take that terrain. I'll take that terrain off your hands.
I hadn't talked about it with him yet. I know Andrew's picking up the box from Emilio, who was the one who was selling it. I'm sure
Okay.
we'll get it all sorted out. But this just materialized yesterday or day before yesterday.
Okay.
So it was sort of just like, you know, hey, you're still selling this? And he was like, yeah. And then Brian's like, well, I'll take that. And I'm like, well, I'll go halvesies with it. But like, what Stormcast do you want? He's like, oh, just these things. I'm like, well, can I have the, you know? So
Nice.
we're still sorting it all out.
Sounds good. Next we have an announcement from GW that Warhammer Quest is coming back, baby, and this time it looks to be Nurgle versus Cities of Sigmar.
So there's a couple of things, and obviously, Honest Wargamer did a long, like a 20-minute video on just this and like what this means and what it could mean and how it ties into the purported leaks. So go watch that video if you haven't. It's 20 minutes. He talks about a lot of different things. Specifically, he talks about all of the new Nurgle models as opposed to the leaks. So, for example, if you can see here, back here is a new, what we're assuming or what we think is, and this matches up with the leaks that were announced a while back. This is a new Nurgle Demon Prince. It's a new, like, unique Nurgle Demon Prince. So
makes sense to me.
and I mean,
Sure.
it looks like it. He's got He's not quite. I don't think he's quite large enough. Like they kept talking about in Honest Wargamers video, he kept talking about how it was like great on clean one's eyes, and I'm like, this thing looks a little bit smaller to me. This
Yeah.
looks this looks like it would sit on a similar base to like a Magoth Lord, like one of like Bloab or
The normal like monster size
yeah,
kind of bases that we're getting
not
now.
a
I can see
130,
that.
not a 130, but whatever
Yeah,
Bloab sits
either
at.
like a 80, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Like some that's kind of where most monsters are staying down. I could see that. I think that's exciting. And considering we've seen like on the 40k side, Kill Team is getting like the Deathbringer as part of their launch, which is a massive model unto itself. I'm not going to put it past them to say that some of their box sets they're going to release maybe bigger end game models for their like paths to whatever they want to do. And I think that's really exciting. And there's other stuff in here too that
Lots.
not only coordinates leaks, there's a lot of callbacks, like where we see the Pestigors, which is a model we haven't even heard of since Fantasy Days.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
appeared once in Blood Bowl, is the ugliest thing I had ever seen in modern GW printing. Like I wouldn't even call it a good sculpt. Like I know what they were going for. It's creepy. It's unsettling.
Yeah.
It just I didn't like how it is. I think this calls back to that old early 2000s design for what Pestigors were, and I think it fits well.
You mean
and I like
that they're Gores wearing green hoods?
Gore's wearing green hoods, a bit smellier than usual and a bit more durable than you'd expect, and carrying great axes. I mean, this is exactly what it should be. We got some Nurgle-ish Chaos Warriors. I don't know if these are going to be as the leaks were saying, this Blood Warrior equivalent, or if we're getting a revamped Blight King kind of style.
I think revamped Blight Kings is what this is looking like.
And that would be cool.
It's interesting because Blight Kings aren't even. Sorry, Blight Kings are an old model, but they're good. They look good. They're great sculpts.
No, they absolutely are.
What I would love.
There's a couple. There's a couple other things in this box that are interesting on the Nurgle side. Like there's a few Plague Bearers you can see in the corners that look pretty different. So I'm wondering if those are going to be more Herald-like, or just this is the unique Plague Bearers that we're getting for the box set.
So there, in the video and in the leaks, there's a mention of Rotga Trogoths, but Nurgle.
I mean, if this is the Nurgle demon troll equivalent, sure, I'll take it.
Given how tall this guy, this plague bearer here in the back, because he's got the single eye and the horn just like every other plague bearer. He's got a very plague bearer face, but the size
that's Nurgle's rot. That's the call for Nurgle, is a single horn, one eye.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that is like it's a very plague bearer like head, but the size of the guy that it's on is like, I mean, you can see he's like, assuming that there's not some tricks of perspective, he's head and shoulders taller than a Blight King, or whatever this Chaos Warrior is here. And then
that's pretty cool.
There's also
be go ahead.
I was gonna say there's also in the back here. It's very hard to see because we can't zoom in, but there's a what looks like another priest or wizard model back there, and that. They were theorizing that is the Realm Gore Ritualist, but Nurgle that they mentioned in the leaks.
That'd be cool. I'm down for all of this. The Order side, though, the art style is super interesting for them because it's so fantasy coded. Way they've drawn all of the heroes for this set. I mean, that is a dispossessed ranger, like that is a dwarf ranger of old. There is just a paladin like guy that he's probably the guy with the shield is probably the most Age of Sigmar model out of the four of them,
and he's barely for sure. That.
He's the lighting on how they did it. It just looks very Bretonnian Empire-ish knight. We have this water wizard lady with her sword that looks something straight out of Bretonnian damsel art.
Yeah.
It's very old school.
So
the color palette they chose really calls back to other stuff.
I'm wondering if this lady is in fact an elf.
That could be interesting.
And if she's an elf, I think she might be a Gidrelon priest or a
What
Yidrelon mage.
what's that?
The River Temple, the Yidrelon Riverblades.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
is that would be the most interesting thing given, but we don't see all of her stuff, so she might have those like the chest plates and everything that would give it away. Obviously,
yeah,
like, they turned her away purposely.
yeah. I'm positing that because she's currently using a water spellblade style of like fighting, which would go
Just
real hard right next to my Yidrelon Riverblades. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like just like she's out here a decent melee fighter wizard that has some cool water magic and the Kepler also has like a flowing outfit that's like
Yeah.
that, but it's blue for the most part in the art. This one's white. It's really hard to say whether it's more Bretonnian. It's definitely more Bretonnian damsel, but I'm wondering if maybe that's the trick that they're trying to pull. The other thing is
Sure.
the dispossessed Duardin looks almost exactly like Harsk um, from Pathfinder. So Pathfinder is obviously it's a role playing game system. What they have is they have what are called the iconics, which are their art for the core
Yeah.
rulebook is all of a same character, and it's the iconic version of that character. Harsk is the iconic version of the ranger, and it's a dwarf who uses dual axes and a crossbow.
It's a cool reference.
It's just like when I first saw it, I'm like, is this? Are they? I thought
They're
at
making
first,
a reference, if anything. Yeah.
I thought
No,
at
I
first that they
could
were
see it
collabing
now.
with Pathfinder because like I was like, that's Harsk, and I'm like, wait, no, it's close, but not quite.
I actually thought these were a callback to Bugman's Rangers from the old world.
Yeah.
That's
No,
possible too.
I see a bit of that. The orange in the beard immediately screams to me that maybe this is a very interesting Slayer. Like
Yeah.
fire
Well,
slayers may branch out in different ways. Like there's so much to speculate about
Yeah.
this. Just the box
Yeah.
art, which is exciting because
yeah, because Dwarf Rangers were a unit in the old world, so
oh yeah,
it'd be interesting to see them come back.
And dwarf crossbowmen. I really want crossbowmen to come back. If crossbowmen come back, I'm making a dwarf army. I'm doing it.
Oh, good God.
What?
Quarrelers?
Yeah.
koalas.
Koalas! I'm
Just
doing
shout
it.
it.
Every time I go to my shooting phase, I'm just gonna be koalas quietly because I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those people that likes to shout at an event when I wow. You know, like I'm not doing that.
Sure.
Can't relate.
That's not me.
Have you
I
guys
can't do it.
have you guys ever played Warhammer Quest? Like, I don't really know
No.
anything about it.
No.
Yeah. So I played Silver Tower a lot with some
So-
friends of mine at the shop, and it was a lot of fun. Didn't really get to play Cursed City, but it looked really exciting, and I enjoyed how they formatted it. So
Wait, was Curse City a Warhammer Quest game?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I have played Warhammer Quest then because I did play Curse City. Okay, fair enough.
No, so Silver Tower was their first real like revamp of Warhammer Quest, and it fit the aesthetic a lot because it was like true dungeon crawling, and you kind of built your own as you played in Silver Tower, as befitting of walking through a Tzeentchian structure. It was a lot of fun. When that game came out, you could just play a bunch of characters. They had all these cool rules. It was a blast. Absolutely loved it. Would play it again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna pick this up. So maybe we can play a game.
I mean,
Sweet.
as soon as we find out more about this, like if this does turn into a Yidrelon Riverblade, you know I'm buying it. And I mean, if it's got Nurgle models, you know I'm buying it. So I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I'm buying.
I guess you're buying it.
I'm buying
It's on people's lists now, which is cool.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe it's a thing I hand off to Dad and be like, "Hey, let's have a cute little game we can play every now and again while you're out here."
That's fair.
Hell yeah.
All right. And as hell yeah it is now time to talk about the Helsmiths.
Yep.
Of Hashut?
Those
So-
Helsmiths.
Those.
I kind of proposed this because I've gotten about a little over half a dozen. I think I'm approaching a dozen games or so since we've gotten the rules between TTS and real life, because I'm one of the lucky people that has access to actual GW models. So I get to show up to a GW store with my Helsmiths of Hashut army day one.
I gotta pick up. I gotta get my code. I gotta get my code from you. It doesn't do anything right now, does it?
No, it literally does nothing right now. You're fine.
Covers your system.
I gotta pick up. I gotta get my book from you then.
You have my book, right, Carlos?
No, because Victor did. No, we'll talk later.
Okay.
But I did want to. This isn't going to be like let's dive through Helsmiths, let's talk about this, because I want that to be the much later down the line kind of deal.
Sure.
When we get the full release, we wait for stuff, and I'm going to get into why. There's some good that I want to talk about that I found in this book. This army is going to have really strong like command trait artifact combos. I don't think there's a bad one out of all of them, really. Even the sillier ones of, like you can overwatch or like covering fire when you're getting charged, but it's only 6s. It's like, that's really cute. I don't think you're ever going to take it, but that's just so cool to have. And then there's +1 to wound in combat. Like, that's just every turn. Really good. 2+ ward on any unit wholly within 12. Who cares that they can't move? You could turn off an opponent's go turn. Really good. Never going to complain. Some of the units really great. Bull Centaurs, absolutely silly. They are Varangard for half the cost, but they feel like half the cost because they are as frail as glass.
Sure, that's fair.
War Machines are, I think, appropriately costed, maybe a little too cheap. They don't need the battle trait to really function. They just get better when you use the battle trait on them.
Will I have success spamming 7 Dominator engines?
You're gonna have fun. I don't know about success, but you're gonna have fun.
The goal is fun.
10 wounds at a 2-up armor save, that's annoying to deal with. Like, it just is. Sure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much damage you really put out. For sub 200 points, you get a hideable 2-up armor beast thing running around that can actually, it can do damage.
It's a slightly slower KO boat, KO gun hauler.
Yeah, we know how good KO boats are.
Yeah.
They're just durable. That's all you really need to have behind it. Is they're the durability without really the pacing, which could be bad. But this army isn't fast, so you don't really think too much about it.
But they can hide compared to a KO gun hauler. They can be.
You can hide.
Yeah. So I mean,
take that for what you will. Where I have been struggling, because I'll also preface this: I'm losing more than winning, and I'm not going to pretend that it's like, oh, this army bad because I'm not winning games. Like, no, this army's fantastic. It has every tool it needs to win any game, I think, ever. But where I am generally finding it struggling is using its own battle traits. It's way too slow, in my opinion. So as it goes is the beginning of the turn. So this is before anybody does anything, unless you have started turn stuff, which is like the places of power activations. So that's how high we are. One unit that is not in combat, that is contesting an objective or a terrain feature that doesn't have a token, you put a token down. And that token stays for the rest of the game. And that's how you generate your demonic power points during your turn only. You place tokens every turn, but you only generate points during your turn. And why I think they're going to struggle a little bit with this, I think early on, and I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best optimization, where to put these things, is you're working at a very slow pace. So your economy for how many points you get to distribute is very low, even in the mid game. And if you want to have more, you are putting yourself at a CP deficit. And I'm not talking small either. Like, you are functionally at about half your opponent's CP every round if you want to have points to use to buff your units. You don't get a ward save on your cohorts until you start putting points onto them. You don't get ward saves on your big Taurus guys until you put points on them. You want to go fast with your Bull Centaurs, you got to put points on them. You want to have rend on your ranged infantry, you got to put points into them. There's a lot of units that are so hungry for these, but you have so little to actually hand out. And I think that's going to come at a head early on, because a lot of people are going to look for, like, what are just the best war scrolls? I don't want to look at these points. And then but that also and then leads to, okay, but what about everything else that does kind of need these? And I think we're pointed pretty appropriately because of it. But I think that does bite us in the butt because our battle formations also require us to have units at full capacity to actually get a bonus. So unless I am able to get a 3+ on a unit with an Infernal Core Spear, so I have to spend 110 points and a command point to, on a 3+, have a unit in my army that gets the benefit from my battle formation turn. I have sunk a resource that I cannot renew at all in this game. And I've spent 110 points, which is about a little over 5% of my army, just to have the chance of doing this.
I mean,
So only one unit can be given demonic power?
No, so I can only hand out as many points as I have available. But for the command point, I can only pick a unit that has none attached to it.
Well, sorry, what does the command point do?
So when I spend the command point in my hero phase, I select a unit that has no demonic power points given to it. And it checks on how many are already on the board. If there are 3 or less distributed amongst my army, that unit gets 2 points. If there's more than 3, I get 1 point.
And when you when you put a token on a terrain piece at the and then you sorry, so you put a token on a terrain piece and then it goes away when you give a unit that token?
No, the token stays. So this is where we kind of get into the next point is, as far as we're aware, as far as I've been playing it, because I think it is the way they intended to, because I did bring this up, I think about like a week ago.
Yeah, I remember. In the Discord, we talked.
The points go away at the start of each of my hero phases. I remove them, and then I count how many desolation tokens are on the board, and then I generate that many points, and then I hand them out as I wish. That's what we think is how they're intending it. But as I've played a bunch of games now, I'm starting to understand what I saw the argument for, where they don't get removed from the battlefield and they disappear. They might you remove them because you no longer apply to them, you add on, and then you go back. Because the army feels really, really slow to actually get going. And fast armies like Ideneth, Flesh Eaters, Slaves, and in some cases Iron Jaws, like really fast combat armies, can just turn this off entirely, because you can't do this if you're in combat.
Okay, and you don't need to control the terrain piece in order to.
No, I just need to contest it, which is like, it takes a lot of the onus out of, like, I don't own this trade. You can't just walk up to it. But no, you tag me and I can't do it regardless.
Got it. Interesting.
And that can become very difficult to do. And this army kind of does live and die on a double turn against combat armies. If you're able to get in and then get a double, you almost always lose. Because unless you have the big Uruk Tar guy, you cannot redistribute these points during your opponent's turn. So you can't get your ward saves where you need it to be. You can't do any of that stuff, and they just gonna punch right through you. But they don't even need to. They turn off your range. They turn off your ability to generate your battle trait, and you got nothing to do.
I mean,
interesting.
I'm looking at one of the I'm looking at the rules real quick. Is Reserves of Demonic Power the command that you can do? Is that truly any hero phase?
Yeah, it is any hero phase. Okay. So to take full advantage of, because we're a slow economy, you're kind of incentivized to be doing that every hero phase where you're able to. But that means that I have 2 CP over the course of the game to do anything else. I get 1 all-out defense, 1 all-out attack. I get 1 redeploy. Like, I get a counter charge and nothing else. And this is an army that kind of does want to be spending a lot of those. I want to be able to reroll a charge if I don't roll high enough on my Bull Centaurs to get where I need to go. If I didn't give them the demonic power points to shunt them across the table, I might need my ward saves. Or in some cases, I need to get the extra shot on my artillery or or something else. A lot of these units want those points, and you just don't have enough. And I'm not saying that's a bad design. I think it's good, like in economy in the game wise. Like, okay, not everyone is going to benefit. There's going to be haves or have nots,
Yeah.
but it's taking at least until round or later round 2 to round 3 for me to really be seeing what I'm bringing to the table. Like my battle formation, I don't really get to see what it does until round 3. And by that point,
Mm.
some games are already decided. Like, oh, I've already won. It doesn't matter if I have +1 to cast on my guys or like +1 shot on my artillery. If I'm already killing you, I'm already winning. Like, who
So,
cares?
what would you change if you could right now? What would
So
be your change?
yeah, and I am also purposely, I have no idea if this is going to change, but I think a day 1 fac is important for them because I think it's needed for them. If I could change it in any way, I would either make it so it's not removed from the battlefield, it goes away forever, but then we adjust some things that clearly seem pretty egregious, like, oh, the once per game artifact that gives you up to 3. Those are you give them, but they disappear forever. It's a once per game artifact. You can't put them on anymore. Just slow the grind down. Or let me desolate everything that I'm able to desolate that I'm in contesting range of instead
Sure.
of 1 per turn. Because then at least it's like, okay, I get all my stuff early. Maybe I have 4 or 5 points at the start, but unless I get across the table,
Oh.
I can't do it does like I'm staying at 4 or 5 for the
Okay,
majority of the game.
I now understand your problem. I was getting a little confused because I was like, you can only buff one unit. You can buff as many units as you want, but you can only tag one terrain piece every single turn of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Meaning on turn 1, there's only one. On turn 2, you have up to 2. On turn 3, you'd have up to 3
Yeah.
terrain pieces
So I
tagged.
get to do it every single turn, including my opponent's turn. So it's each start of turn phase. So like round 2, I could get up to 3 or 4 by the time it's my turn. But where like I might get a unit that benefits from all of that, all my stuff. And it's like, cool. I have 1 unit out of my 2,000 point army that gets to use the battle formation. As opposed to a lot of other people who are just, they show up, all my Achilleans get +1 to hit. Cool. I bought mostly Achilleans. So from the get-go, everyone gets +1 to hit.
Sure.
Even if I spent 20 points, like, no, I have to wait till round 2, just to be able to do 1 unit. Not even 2, 1.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and I see the issue. I did not realize that. There were a couple things about the timings of these that I didn't realize. So I didn't realize that the command trait or the command ability is in your hero phase and not the start of the hero phase. I
Yeah,
feel like if
so
the command ability was the start of the hero phase, it'd be fine.
oh, they wouldn't, because the distribution of points is start of turn. I can't even get around that.
I'm sorry. That's what I mean by when I'm
Oh
saying.
no! If I could spend that command at the beginning of the turn before we got into my hero phase, yes, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because then you can take the timing to do reserves of demonic power, which is the command ability to give to, and then you can give your third to someone immediately, like
which would be really helpful.
The point. I didn't realize that timing was an issue until now.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say though that I feel like if you're trying to maximize how many demonic power points you have, you need to be running MSU cohort, and that feels
and that's not really that good.
Right.
Like, I'm happy. I've felt pretty satisfied just with the 2 units that I've ran so far. 110 points. They're durable. They have a 3-up save. They can't get a ward. They're not bad in combat, but they also have to do it while they're controlling objectives. So their limited space of handing out that extra point is very, very tight. And in a GHB that we have right now, objectives are very widespread. I'm kind of limited to the mid board if I'm lucky, because I only move 4 inches, which means I'm giving up a whole round of being able to hand out extra points. So we're really slow on the DPP front. And now I like playing the games. That's why I was just saying, like, I kind of understand when the guy was arguing what remove meant, because we are playing very, very slow otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think there
I'm
needs to be
cool.
something.
Keep playing it how I've been doing it. I'm okay with like, all right, I'm just gonna take them off. They're gone. We'll redistribute it because it's the least beneficial for me. But as after playing almost a dozen games, I feel it in a lot of just normal armies. Like, wow, I am at round 2. I have 4 points. I'll spend a CP to hand out to get a 5th, and I might roll for a 6 on something. It may not even be in range of what I want. Huh. That doesn't feel like I have a battle trait. That doesn't feel like I have a battle formation.
How would you feel?
Doesn't matter that I'm spending 0 points.
How would you feel if you got in battle rounds, like in battle rounds 1, 2, and 3, if you got +1 demonic power point? Just like
I just get
flat for the first 3 rounds in your hero phase, you get an additional 1. How would that feel?
I mean, I think that'd probably feel fine. I mean, it helps. It kind of helps you. Your resources aren't as bent into relying on a 3+ to maybe get your battle formation. I think it might just be the effects of the battle formation are really chewing at it in combination how fast it is. Like, I feel like I'm not playing with a battle trait or a battle formation most of my games.
Yeah, unless you're
And
running Uraktar and like using your battle formations, like using his ability to switch which units are having it in.
But
in
that's
round 1.
so. This is the interesting part. So I'm gonna spoil this slightly. I'm very likely going to be bringing Uraktar in our league next quarter. I think it's just I've been playing without him, just seeing what it's like. I've really enjoyed the retreat and charge for my bull centaurs, but I want to see. All right, let's play the better version of the guy on the damn flying bull.
Yeah.
But from what I've been reading from a lot of people who have been playing with him, he's good. He's amazing because he's only 30 points more and you get egregiously more stuff for 30 points. Like, this man needs to jump up, I think, like 50 or 70. I'm not even joking. It's just not fair to what you're paying. I'm 30 more points. You are a 2-cast wizard instead of a 1.
Yep.
You have a War Scroll spell, which is mortal wounds, in a really fun way too.
My favorite mortal spell in the game, bar none.
You have double the ranged attacks. You have an extra wound.
Wow.
You have an extra combat attack, and you can redistribute your battle trait points wherever you want during your enemy's hero phase. So an enemy does everything, and then you reset a bit.
Do you think? Do you think the reason they're so close together in points is because the generic one can be given a battle trait and an artifact?
I think so.
And,
I think that might be, but I am struggling to see why I wouldn't, like, after playing this, like, I get why people just spend the extra 30 points for all.
Yeah. That's fair.
My foot heroes can, the Eye of Weakness, which is the very popular one, which I think will get the point increase to 20 or 10, which is the pick an enemy unit within 18 at this in your hero phase, and until your next one, you get +1 to wound in combat against them. Like, 18 inches is large enough that a mid-board foot hero can kind of cover whatever he wants. And then the Scroll of Petrification, which is one of the artifacts that is being taken between that and then the demonic power.
Crucible is spite.
Yeah, Crucible. That's 12 inches. That's only within 12. It's not a small range by any stretch. It's pretty small for a 32 millimeter character, but it's not bad. And normally you're going to do it on the turn that you need that particular thing to live anyway. So
that is true.
It's going to be that. So I don't think that's too much of an issue on that front. And there's no there's no artifact or command trait that is what I would define as a selfish command trait or artifact, where it only benefits the guy that's taking it. Like we have with, I'm going to give this guy swing twice, but he strikes last, or I'm going to give extra things to my weapons or something like that. It's very supporty, very I'm going to do stuff for the army, so anyone can really take it, and it's normally good.
I think the only one that I can see that is like kind of selfish is Servile Automaton.
Yeah, and that is the cutesy combo you take with the Bane Mace guy, and you charge your character in with the Bane Mace against another character and say, I have pump all your demonic power points into the Dominator and say, I have 14 attacks at rend 1 damage 4. Good
striking
luck.
First.
Yeah, striking first and then striking immediately after, because the strike first and strike last activations cancel each other out in that instance. Mm-hmm. So now you go into normal activations, you just swing again. Yeah. So like it's cute, but it's a fun combo, and it's scary if that goes off. And there's a lot of big heroes running around that won't respect that at all.
Yeah. The only problem is your hero has to be there, doesn't he? For that?
Hero has to be with it. It has to be in combat for some of these to kick off, which is why it's like you always just have them next to each other and you charge them in together. That's what you do. So there's obvious, like, it doesn't work in some scenarios, but you're not super stressed about that, because if you're playing this combo, you know what you're getting into.
I mean, you could also
you know what you signed up for.
It's also a good defensive.
You know what you signed up for.
Oh yeah, it's a great defense tool as well.
Yeah, because you have say like a war despot that you're sitting there with, right next to your Bane Mace Dominator engine, and someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to charge this guy," and you're like, "All right, well, Dominator is going to hit you first, and then he's going to hit you again." And then
you can get gross.
And then you could try to kill the war despot, but he's a 3-up 5-up with 6 wounds. And if you don't kill him, then he's going to swing at you. He's also got 5 attacks that are 3/3s, rend 1, 2 damage, crit mortal.
2 damage, crit mortal. Yeah, like it's a lot of attacks for like 300. Like that combo is like 360 points,
and then
or 260 points. Like it's dirt cheap to do something like that.
And then, assuming that you don't kill the war despot and the war despot swings, he then goes, "Hey, infernal cohort standing right next to me. Stab him 2, +1 attacks." It's a really slick combo.
It's entertaining. That's why I'm like, I don't think there's anything bad. That's why I'm not really stressing on. I don't think that we're necessarily in a bad spot. I think this army is going to do very well, especially in very intelligent players' hands. I think this army will pop off in ways that no one will understand. But I think for the general masses, take the 1%, less than 1% hyper-competitive people out of it, this army is going to struggle standing on its own 2 feet if the battle trait is as slow as we've been playing it for the past almost month now. Like,
here's the thing. We kind of saw this coming. If you recall, like in the hot takes Discord, we thought that the win rate for this army was going to be low because there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's not going to be.
No,
easy.
This is it's not easy. And I've enjoyed every bit of it. I'm not like, I've lost so many games that I've played, but I've loved a lot of them. I think I only had one moment where I got frustrated with the situation rather than like what the army did, and it was, I was playing against Jamie. He brought his flesh eaters, and he had an opportunity to just wall my bull centaurs into a position where I couldn't charge with the cavalcade or whatever the flesh eater manifestation is. He did that. I wasn't able to stop it. I didn't roll the unbind, and my double turn, and he kept the -1 to hit, so a lot of my stuff was hitting on 4s now, maybe 5s. I'm like, cool, my double turn that I needed to take to try to stay in this game has just been nullified. Like, it's as if I just shot myself in the foot. Yeah, like, perfect storm happened. Worst case scenario could have occurred. Frustrating situation. Not mad at Jamie at all for doing it. That was very intelligent. That was like the correct play to do.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think the hot takes were pretty on par, and I was agreeing with those as well. Like, I think this army's going to take time to really figure out. I don't think people are going to be satisfied with pure 18 bull centaurs. Let's go burr. It's like, unless you're obscure hopping, you're going to watch those things drop. They're about as durable as eels. Like the combat eels. They hit like Varangard, but they're just 4 wounds and a 4-up save, and you have no way of giving them a ward whatsoever in this army. None.
It's like combat eels, yep.
So you gotta hope whatever you crash into, you kill. Because if they can hit you back, you're eating it. And they don't take hits terribly well either. So,
Well, I look forward to future Chorf TED Talks.
Yep.
oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. The whole point I wanted to say is I just think that maybe something needs to change with the battle traits when we get our day one FAQ eventually.
Yeah.
Which I'm
Yeah.
hoping, is sooner rather than later. I think that's very important for the Army to see where it stands in the first 3 to 6 months.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you bringing that to the masses.
Yep.
Let's go over some of the highlights of the war scroll that we just got. I know the battle scroll. I know we touched upon the Pontifex yesterday, or I see yesterday, the last podcast during the Night Hunt episode, but we wanted to put it up here to highlight exactly what those big changes were. First and foremost, for Word of the God King, it requires a visible unit now. So that was pretty big.
Always
Otherwise,
here we are.
yeah. Everything else for that remained unchanged. For Sigmar's Will,
this is where
only Salvation got changed. And the big change to it is 1, it requires you to be the active player.
Yep.
2, the 3 units that you choose have to be more than 12 inches away from you. 3, they cannot be in combat anymore. 4, they have to be more than 9 inches away from enemy units. And that's it. So those are the 4. And they still can't charge. Yeah. So four changes.
To a single
to a single war scroll.
I would like to point out that when we talked about this, I mentioned that I thought Pontifex was going to get the biggest points increase. That was not the case. Soggy Pontifex only went up by 10 points. But that is because I did not expect them to shoot them in the leg when it comes to how Salvation works. Like, I didn't expect any changes to the War Scroll. I expected just a points increase. This is... This is more than that.
As the person who hated this the most, obviously. I mean, look at me. I clearly hate everything related to this one. But
I'm gonna be really honest. I think that they could have just made it so that the active player thing was the only change, and that would have been fine.
I kind of agree in that as well. I'm not going to say no to the other changes, but I think the active player was probably the biggest impact for the list in general because it said you can't screw up. You can't screw this up at all.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, never mind.
No, I can still reroll.
I can still reroll. Dude, get out of my head. Get out of my head.
You still get all the cheaty goodness. You still get to do all the fun things to make sure it goes off, but they stopped the one thing that was making it absolutely frustrating. Yeah. Which was opponent's turn, pick up my stuff, come all the way back, wave high, and be like, good luck.
You basically got to fuck around but never find out. You know? And that's not cool. That's not how Warhammer.
I absolutely said that. Like, it's not fun. There's no you never get punished for making mistakes.
Exactly.
Or overextending with that.
Exactly. If you fuck around, you legally must find out.
True.
It's written in the rules now.
It's in the rules.
If you fuck around, you must find out.
Good luck.
Now, notably, this doesn't really stop the cannon shenanigans that you can do with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where you can teleport your cannons.
It kind of does because now you can charge the cannons and actually keep them from not getting locked in.
That's
true. That was the other issues. I'm going to tie the cannons up instead of the Cavaliers. They're like, cool. Picked up the cannon, put it across the port so it could shoot you again. It's like,
100%.
Well, that was fun. Wasted my turn charging you.
Totally agree. I'm just talking about the turn one. Oh, I'm totally outside of your 24-inch range because you have to move. Oh, let me just teleport them in front of Soggy Zenestra, and all of a sudden now, hey, you're in that 24-inch range again. Like that.
It does stop the turn one stuff because you can't just pick them up in the beginning of their turn, set them in front of them, and say, "Good luck. Now I can shoot you." and then put them up later. It's like, no, you actually have to be across the table to do it,
Yeah.
which will never happen because cannons almost never left that far.
Yeah. I also wanted to highlight that they made it so for Scouting Force, faction terrain, friendly or foe, is not eligible for any of the Scouting Force abilities anymore.
Hallelujah.
Sorry, man. You were just too good with Scouting Force, I guess.
Hallelujah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm 100% here for it because as a player who had faction terrain that could not teleport to my opponent's side of the board, Night Haunt, you bastards.
Yeah.
I was basically just giving away free Scouting Force opportunities to my opponents by having a boat lying around, you know? Like, by having half of my boat lying around. Now, I don't have to worry about it. And I don't have to worry. I mean, it does make it so that I can't be like, oh, well, this lovely little Soulblight Gravelord's hut is right next to the objective. Let me just tag both of the shark. I can't do that anymore, but honestly, probably for the best. It's a balance change, and
Yeah.
it helps. It helps you as much as it hurts you, and if you're not taking Scouting Force, then it's a net positive for you because you don't have to worry about your faction train getting abused in that particular way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes one less thing off of competitive players to stop crying about why faction terrain rules kind of hamper you more than actually help you out.
Yeah. And then
We'll take that.
our third piece of this particular slide is one that I
Yes.
find to be the most egregious change of all time.
I thought it was
not
the
of all
coolest
time.
thing.
Maybe not of all time, but it's definitely the most egregious change I've seen in a long time.
Go on.
So Sunsteel of Wheel. This is a Gloomspike gets the Chariot unit. It's a two model unit.
Yep, two can be reinforced to 4.
Yeah, 2 can be reinforced to 4. The Careening Destruction is changed from once per turn army your movement phase to once per turn army any movement phase. The other part where it's like, oh, you can pick cavalry units to do the mortal wounds too. I don't give a shit. That's fine. That's lovely. I actually think that's great because the Sunsteel Wheelers have giant blades on the chariot legs, which is perfect for taking out those pesky horses' knees. Like it's
Yeah, of course.
It's a known thing. You've seen it in the Gladiator movies. They even had it. It was in there. They had to do a whole shield bash to pop the wheel up so that people didn't get chopped in half. That's fine. The part where it's any movement phase, you get to move your full movement, and out of combat into combat, like all kinds of nonsense. Like
that change made a bunch of Git mob fanatics very happy.
Sure.
And I was just a fan. I was an adoring fan from the sidelines of this Coliseum and this chariot race here, but that is so cool because it's opened up an entire playstyle for Gits that if you actually own these models, you were the madman who spent like $100 a box buying these kits, you're about to pop off. It is so beautiful to watch. I love it.
The way I see it, they're at a 35% win rate. Let them have it.
Oh yeah. No. So what this does now is you can do the really gross thing of shunt them across the table. They are 4 big bases, like I think it's like 105 by 72, so not quite the very large monster base, but the one right under it.
Yeah, it's not quite Stormcast Chariot, but it's the sides below it.
Yeah. You run a reinforced unit, which is only, fun fact, this is only like 200 points. That's the other problem, is the reinforced unit's like 200 something points. I think it's like 24 to 32 wounds. I forget what it is. They're a fair amount of wounds. And that's regardless.
It's 12 to
push
24
forward
because there's 6 wounds a model.
Okay, so it's 24 wounds. You just shunt it forward
For
as far as
points,
humanly possible, and you make this cute little line where you're more than 3 inches out of your opponent. They can't, and because of how big they are, you've pretty much locked them into their deployment zone for the most part. Like, you locked a chunk of their army. You run multiples because they're dirt cheap, you've locked them right there. They can't move on their turn. They're like, oh, I can't really get out. what am I gonna like? Darn, I guess I'm just gonna shimmy and then I'm gonna charge you. Now it's enemy turn. I'm gonna move 18 inches backwards.
Sure.
And you're like, your opponent pretty much did not get a movement phase. You got 2. And meanwhile, and Jamie was built this list in his, on his phone. You have Doom Diver catapults just pelting them for days because they can't move. They're stuck sitting there, and you're just going to shoot them all day.
Let them have it.
They've turned into cities of Sigmar, but much trollier because you're not engaging them in actual combat like Cavaliers were. You're stopping right in front of them, make them shift because they don't know where to go because they can't cross the 3-inch mark at any point unless they fly, and then you run away from them, and then they pretty much never left.
I mean, even if you countercharge them, if you don't pick up all of the chariots, then all they do is sit there until the end of your move phase and then leave combat. Like,
and again, they spent, like, if they did 2 units of that, so 8 chariots, you don't care that you lose the other one because it costs you less than 500 points to do it.
You can only do it once, though.
You spent less than 500 points. Yeah, you can only do it once. So that's why I'm saying, like, you don't mind losing the other chariot unit because you've looked at them and they said, like, unless you countercharge me right now, you are stuck forever. I spent 400 some odd points to do this. I still have 1,600 or like 15 plus on my side of the table waiting for you.
I would also like to point out that at no point does this stop you from then redeploying either. The fact that you can do this and then redeploy on top of it is disgusting. Like, listen, I understand that Gits are losing right now. I understand that they're 35%.
Yeah, they're having a hard time.
This isn't how you fix it. This is like a negative player experience across the board for your opponent. Because any person who has like a decent amount of like game knowledge and how to work it that is playing with these will just make a mockery of most armies because they just don't have a way of getting around it.
This is how we make Worlds fun. I'm just gonna say this is how we make the World Championship fun. Because we have someone doing this.
Really I don't hoping that whoever does this wins so dramatically that like GW just looks at it and goes, "Yeah, that was a fuck up," because it is 100% a fuck up. This is like, hey man, how would we buff this? Well, why don't we just let them do it in their opponent's face? Yeah, that's fine. That was the extent of the thought. That was the extent. That was it. They stopped thinking.
Rich. Let him have it.
No, I'm not letting him have it. I'm not letting him have it.
Remember for fun right now.
All right. Let's move on to the INF podcast.
He's like, let's get Rich talking about something else so that he can't complain about this anymore.
Yeah. All right. You two pop off because I'm not super familiar with what this means for y'all.
Well, GW has continued its interesting trend of buffing the incarnate of the deep.
I don't know why.
So the tendril, Connor, has an ability where in the combat phase it can pick one unit it's in combat with and rolls a dice. Yeah. The tentacle can. If it rolls above your wound characteristic, you are now ensnared. If you're ensnared, the tentacle itself previously would get +1 to hit against you. Well, now they said, hey, also the big motherfucker that comes along with it also gets +1 to hit against you. Meaning
it wasn't like that before, but sure.
Huh?
I don't know why it wasn't like that before. It feels like it should have. They all were part of the same. Yeah. They're all part of the same like motions. So I'm impressed it wasn't already like that.
And what's funny is when me and Rich first read that rule, I looked at Rich and I go, "There's no way that's not what it means, right?" He's like, "No, that's what it means." I was like, "That's dumb." I'm like, "It should be the whole thing." He's like, "Well, it ain't," and now it is. Here we are.
If they want, this is how they work on incarnates: is they just take the free one and say, "Does this make it better?" It does. Cool. All right, we'll do that. So does this make it make more sense? Does. All right.
This is the second round of buffs to the Fincarnate because the Fincarnate.
Yeah, because I know the first one was they changed the banishment to 9+, which I think at this point they should just make the normal incarnate that way too. I think incarnate should just be 9+.
Yeah. So
they're physical manifestations. You don't get rid of them. Just make it hard.
And let me tell you, in practice, at the GT this weekend, um, it doesn't seem like a big deal because there's more units you can't do this to than you effectively than you can't. Sorry, there's more units you can't effectively do this against than you can. But I'll tell you right now, the incarnate all of a sudden becomes a fucking horde clearer. Like
Oh yeah,
now,
no,
now, now the incarnate and the tentacle can like walk up to 20 squigs and be like, slap,
yeah, no,
get the
that's
fuck off,
so
get off the table.
yeah, like just to inject so I can relate a bit. Like, no, there's a lot of things that you when you look on paper, it's like, wow, this is so good. But then when you're actually playing it, and this happens with a bunch of armies, you're like, oh, this isn't happening as much as it really reads like it would,
Yeah,
just because of what you see, what you run into, and that's perfectly fine. You're like, but then when it does happen, the way it reads, you're like, oh my god, I'm doing things I feel dirty about, like
It
one thing
really,
I didn't
yeah.
yeah, like one thing I didn't read properly. I was bad at reading. I was the Yu-Gi-Oh player. Um Death Shrieker Rockets. They have two abilities. They have one per army ability that is make your damage 5, like your max damage when you shoot a monster or war machine. Who cares? Like that's cute. Whatever.
mm-hmm.
Did you know that their demonic power ability, where you do splash mortal wounds based on how many demon points you have,
Yes.
is one, it's not once per turn army, so every Death Shrieker rocket that has points can do it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh god, oh
And
no.
two, it's a reaction to you shooting the same unit with all of your attacks. So you resolve that before you even rolled a hit.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've found why you like having 2 Death Shrieker rockets and 1 Bombard as your trio combo.
Yep.
And I have done the load up with the 3 and do splash damage. If people like bunching units and heroes together because the foot hero tends to give the infantry unit something to do.
And the infantry unit.
It's a
tends
real
to
shame
get
if I
guarded
killed
hero.
your foot hero. It's a real shame if your guarded hero dies because he was standing in the wrong place.
2d3 damage from 2 bombard rockets.
No.
Oh no! I'm sorry. 3 damage.
It's 3 rolls at max at a 3+ for mortal wounds each time I shoot a rocket at that infantry unit.
So 6 3+s.
Yeah, 6 3+s.
You give
I
it-
won't
you
kill
give
the
it
guy,
wheels.
but I have a fair chance of just killing a hero
Yeah,
just by accident.
it's gross. I was actually aware of that one somehow. I don't know how. I think it was because I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh no, this is fine. Like even if I don't get my I was thinking about playing Idneth. I'm like, even if I don't get my Tidecaster roll off, it's fine because I'll just be guarded hero. And then I'm like looking at how it all worked and I'm like, oh no, this would still murder all of my heroes, all of them.
Big dead. But I don't want to take away from our Idoneth talk. I just wanted to feel like I could relate to you guys saying, wow, this doesn't happen as often as I thought it would until it does.
No. Absolutely,
totally
of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Abyssal Tendril change is huge. It makes linked ley lines a much more interesting underdog map as well, giving all your tendrils strike first and the Fincarnate strike first. All of them with chances to get +1 to hit, like from a tendril making the play. Like that's real.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's real.
I like
good.
that.
We like it.
So what do you think of the point changes?
So I think the point changes were most of all fair. I think that Sharks did need to go up 10 points, even with Aetherseed getting 20-point tax. I still think the Sharks
are good. Sharks are good with or without it. Like they're just an efficient piece, and the Regiment of Renown looks pretty solid for 300-ish points for 2 of them. So
yeah, I mean,
going up a little bit to compensate that is fine.
Yeah. So I think that the shark nerfs were fair. I don't think that they've changed anything fundamentally. I think they might have been a bit too soft, because I'm fairly certain that everyone's just going, well, if 4 sharks is a little bit too janky to fit in, what if I just put in 6 sharks and dropped everything else, or 5 sharks and then dropped everything else?
That's what
Um,
I did.
yeah, so I mean, like, I don't think that it fundamentally solved the issue. Um, and it did technically. I would say that it didn't really hurt anybody's lists because I think if you weren't running sharks as the primary, something else went down in points to allow you to take that
Yeah,
shark or
no,
those two sharks.
there were a lot of point decreases that I was kind of shocked reading. Like both the Eidolons went down. Aren't
So
those like one of the most taken characters like for editions at this point?
sorry,
I don't.
someone's dying outside. I don't actually know if someone's dying outside, but there's a lot of
Oh,
there's a lot of
Oh,
a lot of
I don't hear
commotion.
anything.
I didn't hear nothing.
I'm sure that the stream will because the mic
Okay.
has a noise gate, but it's a lot less than the audio suppression that you guys hear in Discord. So my apologies.
Got
to
it. Got it.
everyone.
Got it.
Oh, you're
No worries.
fine.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, aspect of the storm is not taken
At all.
almost at all. So
That's
that
the combat one, right?
Yes.
yeah. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that one's fair. I think it was the the C one where you're the two wizard doing all the aura shenanigans.
Went down 10
The-
points.
Even 10
Yeah.
points. Like, why is this going down? Like,
Yeah, I
this
don't-
is the most popular unit I remember seeing for a while for them. It's like this is one of the most taken characters, just period. Almost as
Yeah.
much, if not above, where the king was before.
I don't have a good answer for why he went down in points because he is taken because he's the best caster in the book. What I can say is that I actually don't think he was worth 350. I don't think he's
Okay.
worth 340. I think he is
Oh, there's a
probably
lot of-
worth. I think he's probably worth 320, only
Okay.
because his spell doesn't affect melee. I think if it
Or it
sorry,
affect
it doesn't
shooting.
affect shooting. It doesn't affect shooting. I think if it did affect shooting, it would still be a 350 point model for sure.
Okay.
Holy
That's
shit.
fair.
I
Yeah.
think that the aspect of the sea is probably fair at 340. I don't think it needs to go down. I understand what you're saying, where it would be better if it had the shooting restriction, but what it does is it also allows your companion weapons to have additional rend too, because it's a debuff on your opponent, not a buff to your units. So your eels are getting +1 rend on their tails. Your Leviathan's getting +1 rend on its fins.
Yeah.
That is a
Bypassing companion stuff, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
I see the argument for why
Yeah.
it's like that. Probably maybe why. I just again, I was commenting more of this is one of the most popular characters for Ideneth. Why is it going down?
I think
Like,
I think what they were hoping was that if you drop this, so part of the reason that I don't run, because I didn't run the aspect of the sea in my list with my thralls, and part of the reason is that I didn't have the points. I think the idea was to try to make this is I think these two aspects, the two eidolons going down, is trying to give more power to thralls and reavers as a unit choice by giving you a much better point spread when you're trying to finagle this kind of list. And to be fair, one of the lists that I'm theory crafting is 60 thralls and an aspect of the sea, because 60 thralls in the aspect of the sea can get to 3 rend on things like infantry and monsters.
You naughty boy.
Yeah, no, it's spicy. But I think that is the reason that they went down, because aspect of the storm, its niche is buffing thralls. And the reason I say that is because the aspect of the storm has an aura that is a 12-inch bubble of giving Eidolon any Ideneth Deepkin units +1 to wound. The only units that really take advantage of that are Morsar Eels and Thralls, because we don't have a lot of attacks inherently that aren't companion weapons unless you're a Thrall. Thralls are 2 attacks each, so a block of 20 is 41 attacks. If you have Volturnos, a block of 20 can be 61 attacks. If you have Volturnos and a Thrall Master, it can be 61 attacks, crit 2 hits. If you have Volturnos and Lotan, it can be 61 attacks, crit auto wound. If you then have an aspect of the storm, you can get 61 attacks that are 3s and 3s, Ren 2, and either crit 2 hits or crit auto wound, depending on what support hero you're bringing for them. That is kind of the only realm that the aspect of the storm really lives in, because the other units that it buffs are, again, it's the cavalry, because those top attacks. I mean, it would be nice on the Ishlaniels too, because they have 3 attacks natively. But the 2 damage Ren 2 into cavalry spears can be a really big punch when they're on 3s and 3s, or 2s and 3s if you all out attack them.
Okay.
So the reason that I think the Eidolons went down specifically is to buff thralls. That's my hot take.
Yeah. No. And then I guess the counterpoint to it with a lot of what people are gonna do, at least in my head, again being outside perspective, is why am I spending 300 points to get +1 to wound? I could just spend 100 points for crit 2 hits, which is almost mathematically gonna do like the same thing.
Yeah, I actually have done the math.
Or like crit auto wound, which is again effectively the same thing for them.
I've actually
when you have so many points, like you get pretty close. It's like I'm spending a lot of points to do that. He's got to be doing something else.
So
I like the icon of the storm. I think the icon of the storm does what I think the aspect wishes it was doing.
So I'm putting this on stream. You guys won't be able to see it. This is me doing the damage values of thralls with buffs. Like I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of thralls in this stats hammer page with their damage profiles all kitted out.
I feel bad for whoever has to look at this later.
It's you. You're the one who has to do that. Ha 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 ha.
Look at this the wall of numbers apparently.
Well, I've got graphs too.
I've got graphs.
I've got graphs because it's stats.
Color coded graphs.
So the best buff for thralls is actually Volturnus.
Okay. He's what? Like 2.
You have access to one.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is that best buff is once per game. Because it's once per game plus 1 attacks.
Oh, I mean that's what a lot of the +1 attacks are now, but
I mean
they don't pay for that.
To be fair,
they don't pay 200 points to get that. So
to be fair, I don't think that that's necessarily fair. I think the Thrallmaster should give +1 to wound when you fight in sequence for the regular Thrallmaster. Because right now the regular Thrallmaster is you fight in sequence. That's it. That's the entire ability. It's not +1 to hit. It's not +1 attacks. It's nothing. And it's
like all the other ones do.
Yeah, a good chunk of them just have do X when you do this to at least like a guy, if not both guys. No, that's fair. That's interesting.
We were talking about it with the War Despot. War Despot is +1 attacks when you fight in sequence with the War Despot.
Yeah, too bad it's just cohorts and Hobgrots.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the best, but like it's still something.
No. It's absolutely. It's the premise of it. I'm spending 90 points to give like my combat infantry units like 20 extra attacks or something. 10, 20 extra attacks. That's pretty. It's not bad. It's every time we fight.
So I think if you look at the points values and you take them as a whole, you see that like I would say that the things that make thralls good got buffed, but thralls themselves didn't get buffed. Like thralls themselves didn't go down to 90 points, which is fair. I don't think they should. I think that at 100 points right now they're balanced. I think that people just aren't running them. But Reavers went down 10 points. Reavers make thralls good because Reavers get to put peppered wounds into someone with covering fire. They get to run and shoot, and they get to access to all the same buffs that thralls do. So running a thrall list with Reavers just makes sense. The Leviathan went down 10 points because you're trying to buff thralls with a 5-up ward. The Scourge of Gyrana Kellian Thrallmaster went down 10 points because you're again trying to buff thralls. The Tidecaster went down 10 points because, again, when you're looking at a list that you're trying to avoid, like, losing your models from a distance so that you get to fight and have your soul render recur models, one of the things that kills you the most is if you got mass shot by KO and they focus specifically at 20 block of thralls. And being able to turn off your shooting outside of 12 buffs thralls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the Tidecaster I think should be in every list. I think that everyone should have a Tidecaster in their list because the 3 buffs that it can give out, even on a 3+ if you're not an Isheron Council, which makes them a 2+, those 3 buffs are fantastic across the board.
Yeah.
Not being shot outside 12, fantastic for every army, every composition, every time. Being able to have +1 to run and charge, especially in an army that you can get run, shoot, and charge. Fantastic. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see that. It's a great buff. It's a great buff for all your go turn eel needs. And then the one that I think probably doesn't come up that often, but can come up pretty frequently, is forcing your opponents, if they retreat, to take an extra D3 mortals. And those extra D3 mortals aren't shut off by someone saying, oh, well, you don't take mortals for doing the retreat action. Well, you still take these mortals for doing a retreat action. Because it's my ability, not the retreat action, that's giving the D3 mortals. There's a ton of armies. Like, if I ran into someone who had a ton of retreat and charge, it works on... I'm pretty sure it works on Morbeg Knights, because their end of turn thing is a retreat coded ability. I'm fairly certain it works on Skywardens because I believe it's the same thing. So all of those units that get to be like, oh, well, I just get to peace out. It's like, well, you do get to peace out, but also take D3 mortal wounds. And in a thing where you fought with my 20 thralls with your Skywardens, yeah, you probably killed most of my thralls. Maybe not all my thralls, but probably most of them. But like, I probably also slapped you back for like four dudes, 3 dudes, depending on what was in combat with them. And now you have a chance of just losing the unit from retreating for your safe retreat that you have. It's beautiful.
Nice.
So, but again, it's super situational for that one. The other 2 buffs are, I would say, 100% better just because they have a wider range of situations where they are always useful, whereas the retreat one isn't. So yes, put Tidecasters in your list, everyone. You will thank me later. Put Tidecasters in your list. They belong, especially at 110 points. I was saying this at 120. Now I'm like, 10 points.
Yeah.
We're in.
Delicioso.
Yeah.
We've got.
All right, let's take a look at some of the KO changes.
I did.
See how we feel.
Page just over.
It looks so.
That's a lot of red.
It's a lot of red. What we don't see on this is that the grenade, the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, got changed to once per game again.
Yes.
At least it's guaranteed, but yeah, it's once per game.
Guaranteed once per game.
Once per game.
And visible. That was the other thing. You have to be visible.
Yeah.
I have been affected by the non-visible clause before.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, looking at all of this, from what I'm hearing, it doesn't change much. This might not be enough.
Yeah, I heard that.
Really weird to say, looking at not a sea of red, but like a fair amount of like aggressive changes between the strike first change on the assault boat rule, the -1 to hit change doesn't kick in for like, I think it was like combat or something.
So this is the points changes by themselves are not enough. However, the changes to the assault boat thing are massive.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I think what's saying is the changes overall probably still aren't enough because they're still 2-up armor save boats that are going to run around, shoot you. You're not locking them up that much, and they're really good guys. They're still cheap enough that they might just keep doing what they're doing anyway. That's at least what I'm seeing. Is people are saying it's a good change, but it might not be enough to really take them out of what they've been doing.
From what I've heard, this was one step above a slap on the wrist. It wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was GW said, "Hey, stop it! You stop that right! You stop that right now, or I'll turn this car around."
But I know a few KO players, and like I know Honest Wargamer when he was doing his Battlescroll tier list of where armies were standing. He had these up as like this. The changes just weren't enough. They're still going to do what they've been doing. We
I mean,
don't know.
It's
I
really
think that's the
early.
dichotomy of building a pseudo 40k army in a combat game. Is they're just going to blast you off the table very frustratingly,
did they
and
ever
there's not much you do.
did they ever clarify how taking Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force works with like an artifact that costs points? Do you still have to pay the
Nope,
points?
nope, they didn't do that.
Okay, that's dumb. Why didn't they do that? So basically, what they said is, "Hey, your Blazebearded Sun's bamboozling flat gun. We noticed that everyone's taking this and the Celestium Burst Grenade using the Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force. So we're gonna nerf the Celestium Grenade, which just means that by that we're saying we're just you're gonna put that one in the list first, and then take Engineers Expeditionary Force and put the Blazebeard's bamboozling flat
So,
gun."
to be fair, you pay the 10 points with the expeditionary force, so you kind
Yeah,
of
but
paid
like,
for buying it anyway. But yeah, no, I see where you're going. It's like I could be 2,010 points today.
yeah, no,
I
it's
don't know
just
why
dumb.
I wouldn't be.
It's just dumb. So basically, what it boils down to is, at the minimum, every single list that we saw doing well, because I'm fairly certain almost all of them took the Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force, went up 30 points at a minimum, because you're engine dock and you're taking the thing. Before we even talk about anything that changed to the units.
Yeah, I think the gun haulers. I think was just that killed that particular list where you were just spamming gun haulers left and right. It was
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
mean,
stop doing that. Stop doing
reinforce
this.
reinforced gun haulers at 20 wounds on a 2-up save for 280 points was disgusting and wrong, and no one should have been allowed to do it. Um, but it was funny. It was real funny. Um, basically, what this boiled down to is you probably, if you were spamming the units that got points increases, you probably had to take 2 or 3 units out of the army.
That's what
Depending on,
cities I think had to do. Oddly
yeah,
enough, is they had to take about 2 or 3.
which I think
I
puts
think
them
it
in a
was more.
much
I think they were more of 1 or 2, but they had to
I,
take something out.
it's a much better position to be in. I think this will drop their win rate, obviously. Um, I think that it will. I think that it's on the light end of dropping it to a healthy balance. But I think that if they had gone over, what would have happened is you would have had people crashing out and not playing the army, and then you would have death
Correct.
spiraled to new players picking it up who are going to GTS, that are then playing with an army that's been nerfed that needs a high caliber. So I think this light touch is fine. I
Yeah,
think what we're gonna see
I
is
agree.
I think what we're gonna see is where were they at currently? Like they were at like 60 something,
60 something. Yeah.
60 something. I think they're
They were
probably
in the 60s. They needed to be hit,
I
kind of
think
like how Daughters did. But
they're probably gonna be at like 59, 58, which I think
then I
is
don't know. At that point, I don't know what you start changing because I think this between their actual war scroll like battle trait changes and this, they hit almost everything. I don't know what more you would do if
We'll
they
see.
still retain that like 58%. I just don't know what you do anymore.
If they're at 58%, I think you just leave it alone.
Just say
I think
fine.
that's
They're at
yeah. I
58.
think
They're just a little overtuned,
yeah.
and you
There's
got to
not
deal with it.
there's not really a whole lot you can, like, yeah, because that's the problem. Is it
It's
if
just
they
gonna for GW's sake. This it's just gonna be more point increases, and then
yeah
their armies are just gonna keep getting smaller and smaller until they fall into line somehow.
yeah.
yeah.
And
I mean, to be
if that's
fair,
how it is, that's fine.
to,
Whatever.
to be fair, there's also some of it is going to go away when, because I mean, like, you're not going to have Scourge of Gyre and Gunstock Gun Haulers anymore in 8 months.
Yeah.
Um,
True. It's true.
so like, yeah, there's some stuff. You're not going to have access to most of the other, like the other fancy stuff that they're running from the boat upgrades. Um, because some
Yeah,
of those
you lose 3 boat upgrades. You lose the gun haulers, which I think is that part's a bit more impactful than the uh, the extra upgrades. Which they also changed to say they changed the name, and it's like no, you get 1 boat. You can't have a boat with 2 fancy little things on it.
yeah, they're now
You get
great.
2 boats of 1,
Yeah. Um,
which is one of the things we talked about with Clay when we had him on our KO episode. Was
no.
do you think they're going to change that?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I didn't think they had to, but I mean, consistency's cool, I guess.
They did.
Consistency is cool, I guess.
But
All
yeah,
right, well, let's. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the changes to the smash boat, like killing the smash boat, was a good call though, because
Yeah.
having an
Yeah.
entire like say two Skywarden units and the boat all fighting, or two Skywarden units, not the boat, because the boat was never eligible for fight first in this edition, I don't think. But two Skywarden units fighting first, and then every single swing back that wasn't targeting the 2-up save boat was -1 to hit on the entire front that you were fighting. That was bad. I don't know why they
Yeah.
let that out of QC, but now
Yeah,
it's
but that still doesn't change a
Well,
whole lot
because it was
because
like that on the index. It was like that on the
yeah,
index.
the
And
-1 to hit's the only like annoying. That's the big change of that. The one unit striking first is big, but it's also cool. Then I still get my 12 Skywardens to swing, and I think that's where we're seeing this doesn't change a whole lot. Is unless you also have a strike first mechanic kicking in during my turn, I get 6 Skywardens to strike first, and then the other 6 Skywardens
yeah,
that
but
came with.
what you don't get then is you don't get the Von Grimm salvagers that are giving you +1 to hit and rend in combat as well. Then don't get to follow those two units up and fight a third time. Like it doesn't stop two Skywardens from doing it, but it stops that third
Yeah,
unit of
it stops
whatever.
whatever third unit came in. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That it does that, but I'm not sure how big it changes that buff. We'll just have to see how big of a change it is. But from what I've been seeing, a lot of people are like, it's not. It's there. It's starting to get there, but it's not what they need. But we'll see. Worlds is going to be the big one. But
Yeah.
we have one big tournament I think we do have to talk about
We do.
next, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
LVO.
LVO was this weekend. I surprisingly don't have much to say about this. I was busy with my own GT,
Yep.
and I didn't get to keep up with everything as much as I normally do. But looks like Gavin Gregar won it. He's many people call him the GOAT. He is definitely one of the best players to play the game, and he won it with Cruel Boys,
Yep.
basically spamming monster killers.
Yep.
So this is your top 24, and it's quite a diverse top 24. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, no KO, which is interesting. Oh no,
There's KO.
sorry, no, no, nope, number four, right there.
I was gonna
KO.
say, my guy.
Okay, no.
Ian,
Oh well, actually, about this KO, he was running the Balgrim Scavengers Regiment of Army of Renown, I believe.
okay, so he was doing something completely different.
No.
Yeah, which no, he wasn't. I thought he was.
I don't know. I wasn't watching.
What are the rules for the Salvagers Army right now? I might be wrong.
It's something where they get like +1 to wound when they do something. I don't know it by heart.
Do you
Um,
remember what cannon can't be taken in there?
it's pretty loosey goosey from what I know.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Not
Yeah, go
Pioneer
ahead.
Outpost. It's Magnate's crew.
But
But the top table ended up being Michael Sabetti with Sons of Behemoth and Gavin with Cruel Boys. Sabetti taking a Sons of Behemoth list with literally like 5 models, and he went all the way to top table. What a man! What
yeah,
No,
he did well, and he like luck plays into some part. And from what I was reading, I don't know if he said it directly or it was commented like when he was just in conversation of like he dodged just about every bad matchup he could have gotten until the very end.
Oh sure.
And he ran into the one thing that screws him over immensely. And it
Big
was
time.
5 units of monster killers from Cruel Boys. They're like, 2-up strike last. Here we
to
go.
be fair, it's a 3-up strike last unless they're wounded. If I understood the
Yeah, this is a
correct.
Cruel Boys army. They're pretty capable of just chip damaging you
No, it's
whenever they
true.
feel like.
It's true. Gavin made four 3-ups in his 5 strike last. There was one monster that was damaged before that because it was from the bottom of turn 1 to the top of turn 2. Michael Sabetti took top of turn 2, and moved his guys up and charged them across the board, because if he didn't, he would have just had the same thing happen in the bottom of turn 2. So it was
Yep.
basically like,
And
do I charge you here and like hope that I can live through this nonsense? And to be fair, it was very close to a lot of his units actually getting to fight. Like, Gavin rolled pretty well at like killing him almost to the wound or just a couple wounds over, but he still did it. Like, it still happened. He still died.
yeah, and he hit all his strikes last, and that was
Yeah.
all she wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got to play before his opponent did. And I mean, at a commentary like streaming point of view, yeah, it's an unfortunate game to watch. Even though we've all played them before,
Yeah.
we've all seen it happen before. It's not anything new to the game. But
Yeah.
I feel for the guys. I think it's the hobby collab that stream this. We've been streaming a lot of the AOS events now, since it seems GW has been kind of polarizing 40K a bit more for streaming, which is fair. That's their choice.
I don't actually mind it, because the when they had the AOS streams up before, and they had the same guys who were doing the 40K streams.
It was they required because I was on that stream 2 years ago for Adepticon for their run 3. I do know that they were a bit more commenting more on like how stuff looked rather than the game itself. And then
you guys know where they're from?
What, the
Hobby Club? I do not.
So
I'm not familiar.
So one of them is Zach, I think, who played on Table Titans. Zach and Meg, who do Table Titans. I want to say they're West Coast.
I could see that.
If I'm recalling,
I might reach out to them about maybe just coming to our event and just streaming.
That would be really cool.
It'd be cool. I don't know.
There's a hotel close by. We can, if they can, we can room them. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'd be like, hey, like I'll pay for your room. I'll buy you lunch. Come on out.
They're I think they're West Coast. I think they're California. So I don't know how.
Where I was going with this is like we've all seen those kinds of games before. It just really, I feel for the hobby collab guys who put in a lot of effort to do this stream, and unfortunately, like their final game it turns out just to be that way. Like the dice happen, it goes that way. It's rough for views. It's really rough at a premiere event like that, where the ultimate final match of this massive nationwide worldwide event is done in less than an hour because the guy rolled 3+.
Especially because we're just so used to the final match being such like a nail biter that it was unfortunate that this matchup was just such a one-sided slap fight. But at the same token, I think it speaks volumes to the fact that somebody took this list to the top table.
Yeah.
You know,
man showed that they could do it. Like said, "Nah, Gargan's still got play, man. Don't knock him down."
I mean, two Gargans. Two Gargans. Let's be honest. There's only two Gargans in this list. There's two Gargans, and then two pigs.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could have held somebody and be like, Mr. Stark, it's okay. We won. You did it, Mr. Stark. Yeah. It's okay.
I did confirm that Ian was not running either of the armies renowned, because you can't take. He had Dreki, and you can't take Dreki.
Oh, okay.
That he just played a normal. He played the Salvager specific like battle formation then, where your Salvagers get a buff.
Possibly
I forget what it is, but that might be it.
Yeah, because
he did a cool thing. That's really neat.
His game against Gavin was really good. So in the semifinals, it was Gavin playing Cruel Boys versus KO, and it was Aaron playing Michael's sons, so Ironjaws and Sons. I didn't get to see the Ironjaws and Sons game because they were streaming the Cruel Boys and KO game.
Yeah.
That was really close, and they were. I don't even know if they actually talked about what happened in round 5. Because there was so much movement and like placements and like deciding and all sorts of like really high level play in rounds 1 and 2 that like I don't even think they were out of round 2 by the time the 2-hour mark hit.
Oh shit.
Okay.
if I'm recalling how the
Pretty
game went
intense.
correctly. So watching these games, because I watched all 8 of them that were on stream. It was really exciting to do.
Nice.
I bet.
And
Hey, like
yeah,
that's good.
But,
A
but,
couple other
but
things I saw. We got a shout out to our above average boys. We
yeah,
I was
we
got
just
do.
about to do that. I was just about to do
Corey in
that.
22nd with his cities. The Alliance cities, very beautiful,
Yep.
awesome to see. And then our boy Austin making it to 11th with Nurgle.
11th
That's
place.
did that lock him in for best Nurgle for the
Yes,
year?
it did.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it did.
Excellent. Good on him. I'm very happy for him. I know he was really gunning for that this year, so I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats to all the top 24. Congrats to everybody that had a good time. So
Oh yeah.
Also, if you are interested in watching these games, you can go to Hobby Collab's channel, and they're all still up. And I would say that more than half of the people that are in this top 24, I think, were in the the games.
that would
So
make sense.
yeah, but I mean,
Good.
like even for round one, though, you know what I mean? Like even for round one, I'm pretty sure that I'm not 100% sure. Someone would have to fact check me. This is just me going off of names that I remember seeing and armies that I remember seeing. But the only person that I didn't actually see play was, I think, Alec and his Blades of Corn here in 5th. I don't think I saw that happen.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hey, I gotta give him credit. He got to 5th with Blades of Corn. I know a lot of people were poo-pooing on Corn for a while just because of how it was structured, how it
I
played.
I hear it's starting to get solved, and the new changes to Murderlust were good.
Man,
Good. So
I kind of called
yeah.
that one.
uh,
Sorry, like 3d6 take the highest, take out the lowest is usually a good ability to have. Who cares if
yep.
you take d3 mortals to do it? You
Yep.
get it all the time, and it's optional.
Andrew was telling me this weekend, like he's like, I didn't know that's how Murderlust worked, and I got my ass kicked. So,
I got charged more than I thought I would for some
yeah.
reason. It's like, yeah, if they're gonna kill you, dude, they don't care taking 2 wounds to do it. They don't mind.
Not at all.
Yeah. But lastly on the docket, we have Dragonfall, the Charity Gaming Festival in Lake Geneva Resort. It's become one of my new favorite events. And we got 2 5-0s
Yeah, we
from that
do.
one.
Very
Yeah,
Uh,
cool.
we do.
the
Yeah, we
the, fir-
do.
the first one who won the whole damn thing with
Hell
best
yeah.
overall was Zach Lambie. His
Oh,
army
Zach.
is Yeah, his
Awesome.
army is gorgeous. We've already talked about his list during our WCW wrap up.
Yep.
Rich, I don't think he made any changes to it. I think he's playing the same list, correct?
Good man.
Uh,
That's how you win. That's how you
and
win. Is you just
that's what.
grind the same list over and over
Yep,
and over and over again.
I'm
That's
yep.
why I was able to make Lumineth work as much as I could. Just like, how do you do this with MSU? It's like because I spammed the fuck out of it.
I think he
there
even
is a
called it the same
change.
thing.
I think
I think he even named it the same thing.
I think there is a change, but I'm not sure what it is. You know, it's one of those
Okay,
things where I'm like, I don't remember seeing Painbringers on the board when we did it.
fair enough. He might have switched out. He might have made a couple tweaks to it. Then that's totally
All
fair.
good, man. That's
I mean,
you gotta adjust it and
there was a
work.
battle scroll. Did anything go down in the battle scroll for Slanesh? Because that might have allowed him to take.
Actually, I think it might have been for Painbringers. I think
Well,
that might have been it. I think
there you
they
go.
might have went down just enough to where they were not. They were able to look at them with Twin Souls and say, "I could just take both." Because I know Twin
Sure.
Souls, most cases, first Slanesh players, at least in third and maybe early fourth, when you compare their 2 elitish infantry units, you usually went with Twin Souls because they had so many random rules on top of it.
Sure,
They were just
but
Slanesh Chaos Warriors without any of the cool Chaos Warrior stuff that came with it.
I did also manage to talk to Zach and apologize for my terrain ruling, and he was totally cool. So we hashed it out. He's a great guy. So super excited for that. But yeah, we basically have covered the meat and potatoes of his list before. He's got the Sigvald, he's got the Glutos, the Twin Souls, the
Oh
Sickbait Seekers.
no, actually,
He's
there's
got this.
Um,
You got the Slanesh pieces.
There were
Yeah.
there were actually a couple of changes here.
All right, hit me.
Okay, so his list at WCW was Sigvald, 2 Blitzbarb Seekers, and a unit of reinforced
Oh,
Slickblade
Oh,
Seekers. And then
so instead he reinforced the Slickbait
no,
Seekers now.
the Slickblade Seekers were always reinforced.
Okay.
okay.
But they were also 20 points more prior. So or 10
okay.
points more. So a reinforced unit went down 20 points. It went from 380 to 360. So he had 2 Blitzbarb Seekers, a Slickblade Seekers reinforced. He had 2 reinforced Twin Souls still.
Same, still, yeah.
Yep, so that's still there.
And he had Glutos. He now has a Lord of Pain, and the Scourge of Gyra and Slangor Fiend Bloods were added.
So
Those were not
that's what
in there before.
So
He
replaced.
went full into combat then.
Yeah.
I think he almost all but abandoned shooting and said, "Screw it, we're just gonna blitz across the table and go for crit mortals all day."
Sure,
And
it worked.
And he's got the unit of Painbringers as well. In addition, he went from 3 drops at WCW to 2 drops here.
Yeah,
Sure.
I absolutely understand why he went to 2. This is a combat army through and through, and you're like, nope, I want to dictate first turn just to see if I need to blitz across the table turn 1, or I make you come to me to make my charges easier.
So there, that's why I was looking at this list, and I'm like, this list doesn't. I played against this list. I feel like it was different. Like I feel like
Sure.
Hey, you weren't turning off his shooting enough in this list. He doesn't mind that 2+ can't shoot me outside of 12.
I mean, to be fair, his units, like his Slickblade Seeker or his Blitzbarb Seeker.
Blitzbarb Seekers, yeah, they're gonna shoot you regardless.
Yeah, they shot me. The problem is that they bounced off of sharks and then got ate by like what was left, like my turtle and the sharks that were left, like because they were like, oh, we shoot you, and I'm like, all right, well, 4-up save, 8 wounds. I'm probably not dying to because they were 2 5-packs.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a big change. He did change the name as well because it used to be. I'm worried that some people think Sigvald can't change. He's not a piece of shit. He used to be. Sigvald can change. Like Guto's
that's right.
Yeah, so like there were some changes here. There were some.
All right, Zach, if you're watching this, I'm ignorant and I apologize.
Okay. That's right. I got you, Zach. I remember what you played, and by remember what you played, I completely. I didn't remember everything, but I remembered it wasn't quite this list. But the bones are fairly. They're still Sigvald. They're still Glutos. They're still a reinforced Slickblade Seekers. They're still reinforced.
2 reinforced
Twin Souls.
Twin Souls.
Yeah. You still have the. I don't think he doesn't have the. He doesn't have the Infernal and Raptress in this list either.
Ooh.
He's got the Lord of Pain, but still with the Threnody voice box, and I think they both had Celebrity Warlord. Yeah. So the same heroic trait and artifact, but on a different. Slightly more expensive hero, but the Lord of Pain, I think it's to do stuff with like infantry, if I recall my.
Yeah, I think he specifically helps the infantry in combat.
Yeah, so like it's just a better option because are Slangor Fiend Bloods infantry? Are they?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Yeah, so I can totally see why he made the changes he did, and they're fucking phenomenal. Well done.
You got him to win.
It's a good.
You
change.
did it.
Yeah,
You did it, Lambie.
Doing.
You did it.
It's a good change.
And then next we have the other 5-0, some asshole took 5 sharks.
Yeah,
This guy's
the name of his list is I'll offer you 25% equity for 5 sharks. In addition, I want royalty on every kill until you 5-0. Well, Carlos, here's your fucking 5-0. You've done it.
You did it.
I can't believe it.
So you know what you know what this is based off of? It's based off the show Shark Tank, and this is me. This is me. I wrote the name of this list as if I'm asking Rich to borrow his sharks.
Yeah.
And like his army, and that's the way they would pitch you a deal. They're like, okay, I'll lend you the 5 sharks, but I want 25% equity. In addition, I want royalty on every kill until you 5-0.
Now, unfortunately, I didn't get a great return on investment on that royalties because he 5-0'd immediately afterwards.
I 5-0'd immediately. immediately.
But
Uh,
I
Yeah,
do still get
you're getting those shark specs real quick.
I do get 25% of the win though. So I am
true.
25%
It's
of
true.
Carlos's 5-0, which puts me at
It's
about
true.
1.25 wins at
Yeah.
Dragonfall, which is an
Yeah,
undefeated record now at Dragonfall for me.
but
Which
I do
Oh,
remember. I don't know if it was. I think it was either the Night Hunt episode you talked about that a certain best death player gave you probably one of your hardest runs at the
so
event.
here, so I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, none of my, I don't know if it's the list, inherently the way the list is played. Every single game went to round five. Like there was no way to look at the game at round four and go, this person is going to win. Like
Good.
it
That's what
went
we
to round
want.
five. I played five. I played five great opponents. Not just great people, but great players. And none of them made it easy for me. None of my games were more than a 10-point difference, which is two of my games I won by 1 point, including round five. So
Mhm.
yeah, so round one was against George Coe, one of the best Nurgle players in the Midwest. I That was a 6-point game. He was running big hero hammer because incidentally he wanted to win the D&D award at Dragonfall. The D&D so Dragonfall is a little bit more on the narrative side as far as the scoring goes and the way some of the awards you get go. There's an award called the Dungeons and Dragons Award, and it's for the player that does the best who brings at least 5 heroes. So he brought 2 Harbingers of Decay, Rodigus, the Glotkin, and the Demon Prince, and the Sloppity Bow Piper. So he brought
he
a
had a
bunch of
6-man
heroes.
D&D party.
Yeah, the 6-man D&D
Ooh,
party.
big
Um,
campaign.
yeah, and the thing is, like, my list doesn't kill things very efficiently. And so, like, against Nurgle, I think I killed Rodigus, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I think I killed Rodigus. Oh, I killed Rodigus, the Demon Prince, and Plague Bearers. That's it. Everything else was alive. So, um, so, so yeah. So that was a 6-point game.
No,
Game
makes
two
sense
was
to me.
against Joel Karn, and that was all foot ogres. Won that game by 1 point. Man, them being able to run in charge, that fucked me up. He was
Yeah, he
making
was
some.
as fast as you were, man. You couldn't get
Yeah,
away.
yeah, he was making some bomb ass charges too. The for that game, the turning point was a really good counter charge that I got with my eels. Um, and I managed to lift like most of his iron guts. So, but yeah, that was the Joel Karn game. Round three was Brian with Night Haunt from Broken Ranks.
Mhm.
That was like an 8 or 9 point game. He was running heavy Blade Guys Revenants. Um, and the the reason I haven't gone into like the way the games played out, I'm gonna tell you in a sec. So round four was Ryan, your buddy Ryan. That was another
Mhm.
8 point game. Also Night Haunt. He had a very mixed list with like only one wizard, and that wizard happened to be the soggy coach.
Yep.
So that was an interesting list, which we went over in the Night Haunt episode.
Mhm.
And then round five was I cannot glaze this man enough. His name is Matt Casper. I think he's one of the best. I think he's probably one of the most hidden best players in the Midwest. He's from Minneapolis, I think. He played Gits, and it was a mixed Gits list, like 12 trolls, 2 sets of squigs, a Doom Diver catapult, um, Drogs, Skagrat, and like just a couple other pieces. And just, man, the way he utilized every inch of that table, the way he utilized every buff, he knew exactly how I was going to approach it. Because fun fact, his other army is Idoneth. So he's like, I know what you're going to do. He's like, but I got to stick to my battle plan of just like moving my trolls forward, and he can give the trolls a bunch of extra movement with the spell,
Mhm.
which is crazy. Every single game I played this weekend played out the exact same way. I sit back, I wait for them to move up, Then I engage. They kill the 5 sharks that I engaged with. Now those 5 sharks are in their back line when they're recurred, and their army is on my side of the board, which I don't care because I can still score hold 1, hold 2, hold more while I'm on your side of the board and get all my battle tactics because literally all my tactics are about being in your side of the board.
Scouting force and
And
restless, yeah.
yep, and so like that's how every game went down. I'm like, cool, here's 5 sharks. Eat them. Cool. I'm on your side of the board. I scored more points. I got 5 tactics in every single game. Except the one against Brian.
It's really funny because I think if we ever played, I think that my list would just have a great time against your list as like Ideneth versus Ideneth mirror, because most of my list is like, hey, I'll meet you at the center of the board. I'm not killing you, but you're not killing me at all. And then it's just like, all right, we'll just sit here and box while I teleport 1 unit onto your back line using my like 3 casts, and it's like, oh well, I killed one of your sharks and you recur. It's like, cool. Well, now you have to deal with probably 20 Reavers, and Soul Render and Tidecaster and like a bunch of other things that are just sitting in the back line. Like, hey, we never move forward at all because I'm only playing this quarter of the board. And then it's just like,
Yep.
It'd be an interesting thing to see like how much of that matters. You know?
Yeah,
I feel like Rich just wanted to say he could beat you. I feel like that's all it was. He just wanted to say, I can beat Carlo.
I think if Carlos... Yeah. Go ahead,
my list can't chew through 20. My list can't chew through 20 thralls, except like the one turn where maybe I line up Tsunami of Terror and charge in with 6 eels, and I get really lucky. I could probably do it, but then everything else just folds on me, just like collapses on me and kills my 6 eels. So
no, it's like lots of parties are hard to do.
just too many
I know
wounds.
from experience.
Also,
it's hard to deal with.
Also, my sharks, they're anti-cavalry, so they're better against your sharks.
Fuck you.
I'm out here shooting your sharks with better shots than your sharks. Take that, you fiend.
I just think he wanted to glaze himself here.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I can do this. He might have gone 5-0, but I'll beat him for you guys. Don't you worry.
I mean, both me and Rich have not gone 5-0 with an army that we got like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's true. Right? These are facts. These are
these guys are bragging like they just started a new champion in League of Legends and got a pentakill their first game.
Spoiler alert, I've never gotten a pentakill in League of Legends. I've played League of Legends for like 8 years, never got a pentakill.
That's interesting.
I can't believe I'm somehow better than Rich in some way.
It's because I'm a support player, in fairness.
I did it once with Karthus, and it was glorious.
Okay. Actually, that's a lie. In an ARAM game, but not like it was like everyone was actually, we were still playing Summoner's Rift, and we were like, everyone was running down the center. I think I got a pentakill with Master Yi, but this was like season 4. And it may have been it may have been Earth mode. I don't remember off the top of my head, or it might have just been like a weird like pub game that was like, it was definitely not. I've never gotten anything more than a triple kill in competitive in like ranked games. That's for sure.
Okay. Sure.
But as a support player, I think that's fair. I don't think that's technically not my job. I'm not supposed to be getting.
Yeah, it's all right. Eventually, hopefully, I get to the 5-0. I've been sitting at 3-2-4-1 for a while, so.
I mean,
come out to Dragonfall, man. It's a great event.
I just have not had the time, man. Hopefully next year I should have the time this time, because I'm not going to be swamped with 10,000 things going on in my life.
That's fair.
I will not, if Dragonfall remains on the same weekend, I will not be at Dragonfall for the next 2 years. So yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So you guys I give the 5-0s to you, my friends. Now it's your do the All Might. Do the All Might. You're next.
You're next.
So, yeah, but that is it. That is I think we did it, boys.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're good.
Just under 2 hours.
Anything else you want to
add? Next week, I don't think we have anything necessarily planned, but if we're looking at, maybe we do that episode looking at our league, and we kind of maybe talk a bit more about what we do as a group for quarterly kind of practice, what we do show it
We
others, and if you're interested.
maybe next week we could finally record the first episode of Broken Ranks After Dark. So that'd be nice. That'd be fantastic. I'm totally down for that. I'll set it up with someone.
Okay. Sounds good, man. But no,
All
glad
right.
we got to yap, we got to have fun, and yeah, we're catching up. We have been a bit behind because everyone got a little crazy. We had event after event, be it life or in general, just kind of dogpiling. But we're gonna catch up. We're gonna be more consistent again.
I mean, not only that, but we also had like two major events that like
Yeah. No,
most of
like
the
we just
people
had back to
were,
back stuff just
yeah.
going on. So
And we were also ending or sunsetting the quarter 3 league. So like there was a lot of things going on, and then but
yeah.
hopefully in the future we should avoid that sort of stuff up until I don't know the next time that we have like two major Age of Sigmar events within like a month of each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen eventually, but we're definitely gonna try to be more consistent going forward. And maybe we can talk about the league next week. I don't. We'll
I think it'd be fun. I think it'll be fun.
All right. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, the light may fade, but the tide always returns.
Night, everyone.
Night.